done it, or about to ask? Questions? What's Mike Williams been able to do today and Tuesday?
Yeah, he got back in the team. Actually, had a really nice day today. I think he had like 4 or 5 catches and well over 100 yards. But I thought he had a really nice day today.
Is it fair to expect him to hit the ground running in week 1, or
That wouldn't be fair. He's gonna be available week 1, but to expect him to be 100%. But he's definitely going to be. We're going to be very smart with how we use him, but he's going to be plenty available to make his mark felt.
similar to Brees last year?
Yeah.
You guys kept those 3 undrafted defensive line. What did they show you to keep them all here?
They credit to them. They got better every single day. You look at their 3 skill sets. I thought they throw their fastball. They have a distinct skill set, and they utilize it, and it's very clear on tape. The way they try to win is very different, each of them, and but all very very productive. But they all 3 of them possess a different type of game, which is also really cool in this whole thing. From Watts to McGregor to Leonard. They're very different, but they're very same in their makeup with regards to how they've been working. And now the key for them is to eliminate the "I got it" attitude and find a way to stick.
Have you been around a situation where you had 3 defensive and undrafted free agents before in the past?
I don't know. I know in San Fran, Kevin Givens is still there. We had some guys in San Francisco where there's always a D lineman, because the college game has changed so much that a lot of guys, because it's all screens and quarterback run game and just getting the ball out, so you really don't get a chance to see some of those guys slip through the cracks on the D line, and so when we usually get them and they can utilize all their athleticism, we feel like we can discover something that may have not been discovered before. So.
One guy we haven't asked you about is Lecky. Now that he's on IR, what's he doing?
He's dealing with a hammy. We're hopeful for week 2, 3, but because it's that Thursday game, rather than have him get ready for week 3, we think he would have been ready for week 3, but without practice, we felt just let it ride until the 4th game.
Is Michael Carter back?
Yeah, he's back full.
He's full.
Yeah.
And it looked like Will was getting taped. Is he okay?
Yeah, he was fine. He was trying to get spatted up for practice.
Did you guys do Wednesday, cars?
Yeah, we had a second iteration or a second rendition, whatever you want to call it, of the green and white. So it was a very, very heavy day today, very competitive.
And then they're off next 4 days?
Yeah, so they're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we've got them coming back Monday, Tuesday for some extra work. Mandatory day off Wednesday, and then we get into our game week.
Looking ahead a little bit, what's it going to mean to you personally? What did your time in San Francisco mean to you?
First off, it's a special place. Getting my first opportunity as a coordinator, took over a not so great defense, and we were able to build that thing, and bring in guys like Fred Warner, Bosa, Armstead, Buckner, Jimmy Ward, Tart, K'Wan Williams, DJ Jones, Greenlaw. There's so many guys. Eric Reed was there for the first year. I'm sure I'm missing guys, but D Ford, Ronnie Blair. If you like winning, you like Ronnie. But no, there's so many guys, so many coaches. I'll forever be indebted to the Shanahan family, Papa Shanahan, who had a tremendous influence on me. Kyle, obviously, challenging me every day to look outside the box. John and his tutelage. I mean, it's just an elite organization. The York family and the way they operate day to day. I think it's a class organization, and forever indebted to them.
Robert, how would you define a successful season this year?
Honestly, I get the wins and all that, but for me, if we can operate where our feet are this year and be our best, I mean, that's going to be. I'll be proud, and we've got a good football team. I know we've got a good football team, and the results are going to be what they are. I just want us to show up every day with our minds on ball, ready to compete. And if we do that, I think the rest of it will take care of itself.
How much do you think Aaron's itching to get back out there and get past?
Oh, he's itching.
Yeah.
He looks good too, man. But I think every day, every passing day, the offense is getting more and more confident. It's gonna be fun.
Robert, there was so much excitement about last year, the start of last year. That first half hour in the stadium was probably the most electric I would think you've really experienced. What is it hard to get back to that level again this year in terms of the excitement without feeling a little burned?
No, if you're not excited to play this game, then you're missing something. The excitement to get out there and compete, regardless, is always going to be burning in all of us. We've been going against each other now since OTAs, and I can speak for everyone. We're all itching to get out there and play some ball, and so that I get it. That moment before the game, that pregame electricity, the player introductions, 9/11, all the NYPD, NYFD, everybody out there was amazing. But and all the emotions that were experienced that day. But every year is unique into itself, and but I think our guys are just as ready now as they were a year ago.
Where do you think you're better from a year ago?
Up front, for sure. Our old line is a lot more stable. It's I'm really excited about that group. It's a good group.
This is kind of a random question, but I noticed at practice only half the team comes out like in the beginning, and the linemen come out much later. Is there a rhyme or reason for that?
Yeah, like I said, call it a hypothesis, but those guys, they come out on both fronts. They come out a little bit early in the past, and during special teams they work, and then during so you're almost getting 35 minutes more of work, and we've decided to keep them in of football, which is awesome. But it's more pointed. We have them starting in the weight room to get more pointed work with regards to strength and conditioning without wear and tear, and then bringing them out the stretch and transferring all those minutes that they're losing back to the football field, actually practicing football, with a hope that if they're off their feet, just that extra 30 minutes, it'll translate into a little bit more health. So we'll see. And but knock on wood, so far so good.
You guys obviously have a bunch of primetime games again, and just curious from a logistical standpoint, it is drastically different than playing one game Sunday. So how do you approach that, and what did you learn from last year after having a bunch of primetime games?
Well, you play and you compete to have the spotlight. I mean, I think that's what everybody wants. Obviously, as a coach, you want the 1 o'clock game so you can have the consistency. But we all strive for these moments. With those, there's always going to be changes with regards to Monday, short week, get ready to go to Tennessee, short week on Thursday, long week to Denver, short week to London, back to a mini long week to. I mean, there's all kinds of changes, but I think it's also healthy, and we've kind of reflected that with the way we've done our schedule here during training camp. It's been very different days it's been changing, whether it was a 9 o'clock practice to a 12 o'clock practice to a heavy load on Tuesday to a heavy load on Thursday, and then flip it to a Wednesday and a Friday, and it's we've been very deliberate in changing things up on them all off season to have them prepared for these moments. So every team has to deal with it. We're lucky we get to do it more than most.
A couple more. What's it been like for you this year? You talked about reconnecting to the X's and O's in there, but more so on the offensive end. And I know you're always involved, so to speak, but every day it's ours with the offense. What's it been like?
Well, first, I'm going to if I have a second life in football, I'm going to come back as an offensive guy. They got it made. But no, it's been great. Just the interaction and the dialogue. Like I said, it's just been talking from a defensive perspective, and just like on defense, where we think something's happening on offense, an offensive guy walks, it was like, hey, they're not trying to do that, right? The only reason why they did that is 1, 2, 3, and like, oh, okay, same thing. Going back and just talking through what they think is happening versus what actually is happening. And for the most part, they're on point and they've got it right. But there's a couple gray area where you can just kind of help them see the picture better. And if you allow those guys to see the clear picture, they can create some really cool things that can create issues for defenses. And but it's been great. It's been I don't want to say rejuvenating or anything, but it's been a lot of fun being with those guys. But so hopefully it leads to some success.
So you're not designing anything, you're just...
I might throw a play or two in there, but then they laugh. But no, I'm just kidding.
People always describe Aaron's pre-snap stuff with his checks, adjustments, his cadence. What have you seen in terms of the offense kind of getting used to that and learning him? I know they went through it last year in the offseason. I imagine this year was kind of new guys and learning it again. What have you seen through camp in the rest of that?
God, I don't want to jinx this, but the operation has been so much cleaner. I know early in camp there were some offsides, but I feel like we've been really, really good, especially the last couple of weeks. That Giants week in practice, I mean, he threw the whole system at him, and our guys, I thought, did a really nice job with it. And he keeps training over and over every practice. It's not just getting up there and just going on one. He's training every single snap to change cadence. And, I mean, it's extensive. There's a lot. He has a lot of different things that he does to try to get you to draw off sides. And, he loves to mess with the opposing D-line coaches. I'm sure he'll have a good conversation with Kasarik on Monday night. But it's pretty cool. I think our operation has been so much better this year than it was a year ago.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, guys.